It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer called Tuk Tuk International Style Lager. It's coming in at 4.5% ABV in a 12 fluid ounce 355 milliliter can. It's been brewed by DC Brau Brewing in Washington, DC. Looks really interesting, this one. It comes from our channel sponsor beersofeurope.co.uk. We'll get into that in a moment. But first of all, let's get this beer out into a glass, see what we get. Bit of beer firing everywhere. Then we open the can. Here we go. So we have a 1 finger white head, good levels of slow moving carbonation, hazy straw coloured beer. I do have a widget on the bottom of the glass, so it's gonna kind of aggravate that carbonation up a little bit more than it probably would have done, but I thought with it being a lager, I'm okay with using a widget in the glass, or the etching on the glass as some people call it. Looks pretty decent. As I opened it and poured it, I got a really big kind of lemon and spicy kind of aroma coming through from this distance, from this kind of half-arm distance here. Did I give the ABV? 4.5% ABV on this lager then. Let's get the aroma. Oh, it smells like a Czech or a German lager. So the beer was kindly sent to us by our channel sponsor beersofeurope.co.uk. Beers of Europe, the largest online beer store in the UK with a fabulous range of beer from all over the world. If you're living in the UK, you might have worked abroad and you want to try that beer that you had in a particular bar or a particular setting that gave you good memories, and you can't find it in the UK, then you might be able to find it at beersofeurope.co.uk. The link is in the description box of the video below. Carrying on with the aroma then. For me, this smells like a Pilsner. Hoppy, peppery, spicy, but with a little bit of a kind of sweet edge to it. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh, that's fabulous. That is absolutely fabulous. It's got a real kind of tutti fruity. There's something in this flavour that I can pick up the spiciness, the pepperiness. It's got a fantastic bitterness on the back end. There's lemon. But there's something that I'm slightly struggling with here. There's something that I'm not quite able to grasp just yet. I think there's not an overpowering stinging nettle, but there's a definite big kind of traditional, with that kind of tutti fruity lemon, slight pineapple flavour in there. There's a big hit of stinging nettle, traditional kind of German stroke Czech traditional brewing. And that is throwing me a little bit because I'm getting those kind of slight new world flavours coming through. but then there's massive amounts of tradition in here as well. So the stinging nettle, if you're tasting stinging nettle in your beer, and you think it might be tasting slightly like a hop character, it's because stinging nettle and hops are cousins on the kind of Darwin tree of life. They're kind of cousins on that one branch. So they're very similar in what they do. They both preserve beer. So before hops were very popular, a few hundred years ago, they were using stinging nettle to preserve the beer as a preservative rather than a flavour. They found that stinging nettles and then of course hops were preserving the beer. And then that wonderful kind of situation arises where people then start to develop the flavour of a hop. They're crossbreeding hops, and you have a look at American hops now where you're getting kind of mango and passion fruit and grapefruit. It's an amazing thing what's happened to the humble hop over the last few hundred years. But in terms of a lager, yeah, it's really good. It's really good. It's very different. Bit of a gloomy, hazy, foggy morning here in the UK. Wait for that kind of sun to break through. So it's not kind of like proper lager weather just yet. We'll wait till dinner time for that, won't we? But I can imagine drinking this on a hot, sunny day, especially in Washington, DC. A little bit of sweetness there. A little bit of sweetness from the malt to begin with. Those light, crisp kind of malts coming through. Bitterness on the back end. It's got a really good bitterness to it. So a nice balance to the beer. Peppery, spicy. Great drinkability. If that come in a 6-pack, if this Tuk Tuk was in a 6-pack, then yeah, you could buy that 6-pack and just drink it to your kind of heart's content there. But there's not much on the side of the can. Contains barley, rice, hops, yeast and water. And it's been imported by Heathwick in London for DC Brau Brewing in USA. It's 4.5% ABV. Not much. I think if you want to kind of have a little look more about this brewery, it's the first time I've had anything from DC Brau, by the way. Then it's probably best to head over to their website and have a look. Yeah. A good, solid lager that you could drink with friends and family. We had our first barbecue of the weekend. It's still March here in the UK, so it's still fairly cold. But we had a bit of high pressure come over, so we had our first barbecue of the year. And I was drinking a keg that I wasn't too kind of fond of on the Perfect Draft. It was that kind of fruit beer from Lef. The Leffe, like rosé or something. It was like a rosé style beer. But anyway, after one or two, kind of they started sliding down in that heat. It was really good. Tossing stuff on the barbecue and enjoying some music, and yeah, I can imagine enjoying this very beer in that situation. So I'm going to rate it my first beer from DC Brau. I'm very happy with it. Nice carbonation, nice lacing on the glass, lovely aroma. Yeah, I love that kind of the new world and the old world combining in this lager. I'm going to say it's a Pilsner. It was lovely. Really, really lovely. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.